goaltender making huge news today, and that is the fact that the Ryan Miller watch is now officially over. Ryan Miller is now a member of the St. Louis Blues. Ryan Miller and Steve Ott have gone to the St. Louis Blues. In exchange, Jaro Halak, who has becoming an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, is going back to the Buffalo Sabres. Chris Stewart with some scoring, and William Carrier, a prospect. Pierre, you had been saying that you thought the ultimate destination was going to be St. Louis for Ryan Miller.
And it may have been Doug Armstrong, the GM of the Blues, that had to be the last one to convince on this, because I know that for a long time he just wanted to see what Halak could do this year. They gave the keys to the kingdom to Jaroslav Halak this season after Brian Elliott was the playoff goalie for them the last couple of years. And at the end of the day, I just don't think the Blues really felt Halak could be the guy to lead them to a Stanley Cup. I believe Ryan Miller is that guy. Noteworthy in that trade, by the way, is that the Sabres also get a first-round pick. That's one of those 2 draft picks. And so the Sabres really bringing in a haul of first-rounders when you consider the first-rounder in the Vanek deal and so on. Quite a way for the Sabres to start the rebuild. Tim Murray. And interesting that Chris Stewart's in that deal, because Bob McKenzie tweeted the possibilities earlier tonight, but and I reported this, Ottawa had some interest in Chris Stewart. At the end of the day, Chris Stewart goes to Buffalo, and Bob's thing was, could there be a 3-way with the Ottawa Senators? At the end of the day, I think Ottawa felt the price was too high, I guess, but Stewart in the end goes to Buffalo instead. Now, let's see if Chris Stewart remains a Sabre.
We're flipping to unrestricted free agent goaltenders. What's the mindset behind that? Is that one or the other team saying that we want first crack at re-signing this UFA in that window after the season?
I guess they'll give Halak a look. Remember the year that Craig Anderson and Brian Elliott were traded for each other? They were both free agents, and both ended up re-signing Anderson in Ottawa. But to me, this is more about St. Louis needing to have the cap room to take Miller on. They needed to move Halak out, and to me, that's the clincher in this deal, is that if they're acquiring Ryan Miller, Jaroslav Halak, for cap reason, has to leave. To me, that's not the number one asset that Buffalo acquired here. To me, for sure, it's a first-round pick, the prospect, and maybe Chris Stewart, both as an asset or as a player.
I'd be surprised if Halak, if he's not going to re-sign with the Buffalo Sabres, if they don't try to move him again, because he's a commodity that could bring back a lot in return. So this trade may not be finished there, but I agree with you, Pierre. Chris Stewart is a heck of a player, and I think he's going to instantly be put up on the first line with the Buffalo Sabres. But if you are relying on Jonas Enroth to be your number one moving forward in the future, they better push hard to sign Halak to a long-term contract.